Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 10th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's gonna open in about 11 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the stream real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. A few more things here to update. It's good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going over to the 8-hour time frame, up to the 4-hour, up to the 1-hour, $30-minute, 15-minute, $10-minute, and back down to the 1-minute. So, all right, looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 10th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open up in about 8 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. So the closest level of liquidity above is at 42,745. This is probably going to be too close, and this will probably get hit pre-market. We have 8 minutes till market open, so this is probably going to get knocked out before then. Other than that, we have another liquidity above at 42,850. And then we also have liquidity down below over here at 42,686. So just a reminder, guys, I know not everybody's here yet, but just another reminder for the breakout today, I'm not going to be taking it. Following my risk plan, basically after 2 back-to-back losses for the breakout, I have to sit out until we have 1 win. Once we have 1 win, I can take the next trade. So for now, I'm going to sit out the breakout for today. I'll mark it up for you guys and I'll tell you guys the direction if you guys still want to take it. But for my risk plan, I have to sit it out so that I don't get caught in a losing streak. So just a reminder, and I'll remind you guys again as we get closer to market open. But yeah, it's kind of that's just kind of the game plan for today. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Maria. Morning, Brock. Morning, everybody. Looks like people are still making their way in. We're still kind of early, 6:24 right now, so we have about 6 minutes till open. So looking over here. So for today's session, it looks like the market's either going to be ranging very heavily or it's going to be That's kind of a tough call. I'm looking for a reversal here on open. But from what I see over here, just from looking at the Asia market, looking at the London market, it's kind of been ranging a lot. So like typically, if it has a small range during Asia, a small range during London, it's going to just be a bigger range during New York session. But we'll see. I mean, this whole week's kind of been rangy. So it's not really good for like certain strategies like the breakout, because the breakout, we need that breakout that happens immediately. But lately, it's kind of just been ranging a lot. Like what happened yesterday, if you guys saw, we got really close to the TP yesterday. We were away from the TP about 5 to 8 points, like not super far, and then ended up completely reversing to the other side. So that's just the type of market that we're in this week. As you guys know, it's typically there's going to be weeks like this where the market's just not really moving very smooth. Last week, market was pretty nice for NFP. This week, it's not so nice. It's been kind of just ranging a lot since Monday. So I have to, have to basically implement the risk strategy because that's the only way to really know whether it's going to be good long term or not. Morning, Johnny. Daniel is asking, let's see, I think it's going to correct back up to news price. I was actually thinking the opposite. So because price was pushing up right here, I was looking for the reversal on open. So I mean, depending on like where price pushes, like for example, if price starts to come down right here, Daniel, then yeah, I'll see it reverse to the upside. But that's what I was saying. It's kind of hard to tell right here because there's not really much of a direction, right? Price is going back and forth right here. So like it's going to be like a game time decision basically on open because you can't really tell where price is going right here. Let me go on the 1 minute. Yeah, if you go on the 1 minute, it's even like more choppy right here. Because like typically if I'm looking for that reversal on open, I'm looking for like where price is moving right before market open. So for example, right here, if price is climbing up, then I'm expecting it to reverse to the downside. But because it's not really clear here what the direction of price, like it's 626 right now. So in 4 minutes, price can actually come down and then reverse the other way. So I'd say it's a bit of a hard call, at least for now. We'll see what happens here when it gets closer to market open. I think I'm hoping the breakout will probably work out today because if that's the case, then I can take the breakout tomorrow. So I would put my eggs in the direction of the breakout. But you can see over here from the momentum signals, there's just no direction, right? We got a buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, etc. And it just keeps going back and forth. So it's a hard call, in my opinion. But yeah, if I was to just take a lucky guess, I would say up. But the thing is, if you put the TP stop loss, I don't think that's 100 points. Yeah, so even if it does correct back to news price, like news price is right here, it's not far enough to reach a TP for a buy entry, right? So yeah, it's just a tricky market. I mean, we were kind of expecting this from Monday, and then yesterday was kind of like the confirmation that it's going to be all over the place. So we got market opening up right here in about 2 minutes, guys. Just another reminder for the breakout today, guys. I'm not taking it on my personal accounts. I'll be following it. I'll be documenting it just so that we can know what to do tomorrow. Following my risk plan. After 2 back-to-back losses, I take a break until we have a win. Last week, we had about 5 trades back-to-back that hit for the breakout. So that was a great week. This week was more a little choppy. We had a win on Monday. We had a loss on Tuesday. And then we had a loss yesterday, which triggers the 2 back-to-back losses. So at this point, I have to wait for a win to come in before I can start applying the strategy again on my accounts. So if today wins, then great, I'll trade tomorrow. If today loses, then I'm pretty much done for the week, which is not bad because I'm only down 1 net loss for this week. And then from the net wins last week, we're still up 4 wins for the month. So this month's been pretty good so far. It's just really knowing where to take my moves. So right here, the breakout's gonna be a buy, guys. So direction for breakout today. Today's breakout is a buy, guys. Again, I'm not taking this trade, so this is pretty much open to you guys, whether you guys want to take it or not. Market's going to open up in about 30 seconds. Once the market opens up, I'll place it where it needs to be. But the entry for today for the breakout is going to be a buy. So this lines up with your analysis, Daniel. Hopefully it plays through. And we'll see where this ends up going. See, I don't like when it moves like this pre-market on the previous candle. So market's opening up in about 2, 1, market is open. So the breakout for today is here for a buy, guys. I'm not in this position. Like I said, I'm just marking it up for you guys. We're just following it. So that liquidity got hit right there on the open. First level of liquidity right here at 42,745 got hit. Again, I'm not in this breakout right here, guys. This breakout is going to dictate whether I trade it tomorrow. If it doesn't win today, then I'm not taking it tomorrow. So see what happens here. There's obviously not going to be any market flow entries right now. So just wait for some flow of market and then look for the entry once that happens. But again, guys, just another reminder, I am not taking the breakout today. We had 2 losses this week. So due to my risk plan, I have to basically wait for the next win for me to take the next entry. So if today loses, I'm not trading tomorrow. If today wins, then I'll trade tomorrow. That's going to dictate what happens for the rest of the week. And then if today loses and tomorrow whatever happens, it doesn't really matter because on Monday I'm going to start off fresh. So Monday I'll be back to the breakouts again. So breakout did not play out today. It is yeah, so this week's a toss-up. I'm glad I didn't take the trade today. So my risk plan is working perfectly how it's supposed to. So like I mentioned before, guys, I have the data for 2 years. So the reason why I didn't take a trade today, and I'm glad I didn't take it because the trade lost, is from my risk plan here. So I put this risk plan together. You can see over here from the stats that there'll be times there'll be a few times throughout the year where there's going to be a couple losses that just kind of stack up, right? So like, for example, over here, the 2 losses over here stacked up. So at that point, you would just stop trading and then you would trade once the market's back to normal. It happens maybe like once, I wouldn't say once, maybe like once a month. Maybe once every other month, there's going to be like a streak of losses, right? Where it's just, it's better to sit out the market because the market's not moving how you need it to move. And that's why I just sit out the market. So you can see over here, we can't really see from here. Let me go real quick. Let's go to the actual chart over here. So you'll see here that the streak of losses typically happen. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 times in a year right here. It looks like there's like a gap of losses, like basically like 3 losses that happen after each other. And in order for me to prevent myself from getting caught in those losses, I just don't take the trades, right? So the risk plan is working out perfectly. So now again, for now, I'm pretty much done trading for this week. The breakout, because tomorrow is Friday, and even if tomorrow wins, I won't be able to take any other trades. So I pretty much minimized my losses for this week. Last week we had I think 4 back-to-back wins. This week we had 1 loss, 1 net loss. So for the month of October right now, we are currently at net 3 wins. So yeah, in order to cut off any more losses, I'm just not taking any more trades this week for the breakout. I'll follow the breakout on Friday if you guys want to take it or follow through with it. Like I said, usually the breakout tends to have issues when there's high impact news. If you guys remember from this morning, we have CPI news right here. And what happens with that is that causes a lot of manipulation in the market. This is why on NFP, we took the opposite trade. So if you guys remember for last Friday, we took the opposite trade. And that trade hit our full TP. We didn't take the normal breakout. We took the opposite direction. And it played out in our favor. So, all right, we'll start looking for some market flow V2s here if you guys are looking to take any. Let me clean up this liquidity right here. So there's no direction right now. In order for us to start taking some market flow V2s, we need some sort of direction in market. So we need market to start flowing to the upside, or we need market to start flowing to the downside. Until we have that, we don't really have any direction here for market flow. So it's fine. It's not 640 yet, so it's not time for the market flow entries, but we'll start looking for that direction once it does come up. Hey Marcy, how's it going? I know it's been a while, right? I don't think I've seen you in the chat in some time. But now it's good to see you, Marcy. Yeah, we've seen a lot of older faces here in the chat lately. So it's good to see you guys back here. It's good to see that you guys are still trading. Um, trading is a pretty difficult journey, of course, if you guys are just starting or if you guys have been doing it for a while and you haven't found that consistency. The thing with me is like, I don't necessarily look to, like, I'm not looking for wins. I'm looking for how to prevent losses. And if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys know that that's usually the case. So for the breakout over here, I'm glad I skipped the trade because skipping it saved me another loss right here. So we just have one loss for this week. It's not really a bad week. It's not a horrible week. We had a win on Monday. We had a loss on Tuesday. That brought us back to break even. Then Wednesday, we had one loss, and that just brought us to one net loss for the week. But incorporating the entire month so far, it's been good. Hey, Russ, how's it going, bro? All right, so what we're looking for here is we're looking for market flow to come to the downside. We got price coming down and hitting liquidity right here. We got price coming down and hitting liquidity right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this in the chat so that we can have documentation of the breakout. I didn't take this trade, but I will be documenting it so that we could have it in the chat. So if you guys ever want to look at the data is going to be in the official trades. Document. All right. So I put that there right there, or I'll add that to the stats. So it's not going to be part of the official trades, but I'm going to add them to the stats so that we can continue following it. Yeah, no, definitely. Marcy said it's been an up and down journey, but not giving up. Yeah, that's the key thing, guys. The thing with trading is like some of you guys will get it right away, some of you guys will get it a little later. But eventually, things will start to click once you start to understand what you're looking at. The thing with trading is like you never really fully get it down. You just have to learn how to adapt with the market. Like for example, here, my main focus is now mainly the breakouts. The breakouts have been kind of the most profitable, consistent type strategies that I've applied over the years. So just now it's finding consistency with like finding something that's more stable. If you guys remember the original breakout, that thing was crazy, but it did work back when we used to take the OG breakout. Let's see. Yeah, the original breakout would have happened right here on this candle, actually. We got a sell signal right here, price below the pivots. There was a strong red candle right here. If you guys remember the original breakout, it'd be running right now. This is like the breakout we used to apply during COVID or like post-COVID. It was like a really stressful one because it was so tricky with regard to like when you take entry. It was a very subjective strategy. So it was always tough to for everyone to take. So now I've kind of gone to a more stable strategy that everyone's able to follow on open. So if you guys took liquidity down here, liquidity just got hit. Another full TP right there. So liquidity right here got hit. If you're doing the 1030, So one thing that was mentioned today in the group, if you guys are in the chat, was how Karen, she got denied her payout. The thing with Karen's payout is I think so here's the issue with the 1030 TP stop losses is that you're like exactly at a 30% consistency, right? If this is a trade that you're taking every single time with a 1030 TP stop loss, the problem with this here is that if you get hit with slippage, whether it's slippage in the direction of your trade or slippage to your stop loss, you're going to lose more than 30 points. So Karen is like one of the first people that I've ever seen got denied from the group a payout. And I think it might have to do with the consistency rule because sometimes if price hits your stop loss and it spikes past it, you get hit with like some slippage. It's not a lot of slippage, but it's slippage. So like you'll instead of hitting a 30-point loss, you'll end up with like a 31 or 32-point loss. So like what happens is if you're only catching 10 points every trade and then your stop loss gets hit like once or twice and it's like past a 30, you're technically outside of the consistency rule. So I just want to make that aware because I don't want you guys to like be surprised when your payout gets denied. It's okay if you get denied because eventually like when you take more trades, it's going to balance out. But that's one of the things that you guys might want to be careful for if you're using a 1030 TP stop loss. What I recommended to Karen is like usually these liquidity pushes go farther than 10 points. So instead of doing a 10-point TP, you can do a 15-point or even a 17-point TP, right? Because it usually pushes out that far. So if you're doing liquidity pushes, I probably wouldn't use a 1030 TP stop loss because I think that's going to cause some issues moving forward for you guys. Because before Apex didn't really pay attention, like they didn't really care about the consistency rule. I feel like they just kind of like they had the rule there, but nobody really followed it. And then now they started to become a little more strict with the rules. Obviously, the DCA was what started it. And then now with the consistency rule, of course. The consistency rule shouldn't affect you if you're taking the breakout though, because the breakout's a one-to-one. So like it should never really affect you if you're taking the breakout with me. Eventually at the end of the month, your consistency should be like well over because it is a one-to-one. So you should have like 50% consistency. All right, guys, so it's 6:42 right now. We can probably start looking for some market flow V2s, but we need to have some direction of price here. So let's see. So what I'm looking for here now is I'm looking for price to actually come back down further. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. Take off liquidity. We need price to come down, retrace up, and then come back down further. This right here is not market flow. So as you guys can see right here, there's just not really much direction here. We need price to actually close below the pivots, maybe come down a little further, retrace, and then keep going from there. All right, so we got price coming back down right here. So if you guys are, again, there's three different criteria that you guys can use for your TP stop loss on these market flow V2s. You can use a 60-30 TP stop loss, 30-30 for a one-to-one, or if you want to go for the smaller scalps, again, you can do the 10-30. Or if you want to go a little farther out, you can do 15-30, just to be a little safer. That basically make it a 1-to-2. It's just really up to your preference, guys. All right, so the entry is going to happen right here at the 700 mark. That's where the market flow V2s are going to enter from, at least for now. If price drops lower, then the entry will be a little bit lower. But as of now, the entry is going to be currently at the 700 mark. So now it's dropping down to the 690 right here, guys. So again, if you guys are looking to take market flow V2s, it's going to happen right here at the 42,690 price mark. Again, there's not really much direction here, so it's a little tricky with regard to actual market flow. Because again, you need price to be flowing, right? It's flown slightly, but not as much as it should be. So I'll mark up some zones over here. You guys have an idea where like price is currently ranging from. All right, still hasn't filled yet. All right, let's see. So there's still no entry here yet. Nice. So Daniel actually took the earlier market flow V2 that happened right here on 640 or 639, and he took it for a quick 10 points. So you got in and out very quickly. If you guys are looking to take it, it looks like it's about to fill right here, depending on how much you guys want to take. So this is going to be the full move, like I said, or if you guys want to take the smaller move would happen right there for 10 points. Or if you want to take the one-on-one, you can take that as well. I'm not in these positions right here. Like I said, I'm sticking to the breakouts, but I'm just marking them up for you guys if you guys do plan on taking them. So full TP right there. You guys take it for 10 points. There goes the first market flow V2. The thing with the market flow V2 is that it's a good strategy when you want to just get in and out of the position very quickly. So you can see over here, this is better than taking the 1030 for liquidity, right? Because when you're taking liquidity, there's going to be slippage. But when you're taking this with the market flow V2s, it typically bounces off and then it comes right down. It's not going to like spike up, like shoot straight through like liquidity does. So there goes the first full TP right there for the 10 points. If you guys took that for a market flow V2. And then if you guys want to double dip into it, you got to wait for the price to come back below. So you're looking for the market flow to basically do the same thing. So you're looking for price to come down, then come back up, and then come back down, and then come back up. So now if you want to retake the entry now could either happen right here at the 680 mark, or if you want to be safer, again at the 690 right here. Because the pivots here haven't really confirmed yet that it's below this point. But if you guys want to take it here for an earlier entry, you guys can. Otherwise, the actual entry would happen up here at the 690. So again, right there, would have filled. And you just wait for it. See, the tricky thing here, like I said, is that there's not really much of market flow. So right here, I consider these like riskier entries because you're not really getting the directional push that you need. So the trade's running right now, but like I said, you need something like this where it moves smoothly. Right now, price is really just going sideways. So it's kind of tricky. So there goes the 10-point move. We just hit full TP. So again, if you guys took the second move right here, 2 entries for 10 points, all full TPs right there. So back-to-back winners right there for the market flow V2s. Now you just wait for this here. You need price again to pull back below, come back up, and then refill it. So right there, 2 back-to-back market flow V2s for 10 points. If you guys took that, that's 20 points now. Again, you want price to kind of come back below. Once it comes below the pivots, then look for it to retrace again, and then just keep double dipping into the position, right? That's typically what happens right there. People just end up double dipping, triple dipping, quadruple dipping back into the position. All right, so right here, now that we're having price coming back below, if you guys want to re-enter again, entry is going to happen right here at the 80 mark. So 680 right there. Looks like it already filled. I'm not sure if it hit already, but obviously it filled again right there. But like I said earlier, guys, this here is kind of tricky because let's go to the clean chart real quick, or let's let it finish. because it's not really moving in flow. So right now, this is really just market consolidation. So if you're in this position or if this is your last one, I would just take this as your last one and I would just be done with market flow for right now. Because looking over here on the clean chart, there's just no direction, right? Price is really just going sideways. In order for you to really take a true market flow entry, you need price to really be moving directional. So it looks like it already hit right there for 10 points if you guys took it. But again, you're looking for movement like this. You want price to be flowing in the direction. There's no flow right here, right? Price is really just going sideways. So there's already a couple back-to-back wins over there for 10 points. And then at that point, I would probably just be done with taking market flow until there was more of a direction. So I'm gonna clean this up here because for this move right here, you really don't want to be trading within the range because the strategy is not called market consolidation, right? It's called market flow. So what you want to wait for here is you want to wait for some sort of flow of market. So either wait for it to flow above with a buy signal or look for it to flow back below. But you don't want to take it when price is just going back and forth between the range. There's no flow there. So I'm just going to clean this up right now so that you guys don't get caught up in the position. There's a buy signal right there anyway, so you guys should have pulled out for a small profit at that point if you were in the bigger move. For the 10 points, looks like you should have already hit, but for the bigger move, the 60 points, you should have pulled out at, looks like around break even or around a small profit. So now that we have a buy signal here, you have to wait for either market flow to swing to the upside, or you need to wait for a sell signal to come up and come back down below. So yeah, as of now, let's have to wait for the next setup here. Let's see, question from Sam. Sam is asking, what happens to the account when they deny the payout? One can use a seam, fix the issue. So if you get denied a payout, you can still keep trading on the account. They just don't take the money out of the account. So it just continues to carry on. So like whatever you requested a payout is still in the account, and you just keep trading it until you meet the criteria. Usually they tell you what the criteria is, or if they don't, you just have to email them, they'll tell you. So for example, if you requested a payout on like say the 5th, right, which is the payout period for October, the first payout period, if they deny you, then you can ask them like, okay, why did I get denied? And they'll usually tell you it's something specific, like you violated the consistency rule or something like that. And then if that's the case, then you just keep trading it, right? Because eventually your consistency is going to balance out. It's just for whatever reason that pay period, your consistency was off. Usually it's because you've only traded like 10 days. Like it usually takes 10 days for you to get the first payout. So if you take 10 trades and your consistency is kind of like really on the line, then you're going to get kind of screwed. But if you keep trading that way and you keep winning for like the next couple 10, 20 days for the next payout, then it'll balance out and then they'll be like, okay, here's your, when you do make the request, they'll actually pay you out because you're within the consistency rule. So yeah, they don't take your account away unless you're doing something crazy. Like if you're doing something super scammy, not that I've heard of it that happen to anybody, but I'm sure if you're trying to cheat the system, they'll take your account away. But I haven't seen them ever take an account away. The whole thought process behind that is that if you cheated to get your payout, then you're probably going to try to cheat again, and then the next time you cheat, you're just going to blow the account. That's usually the thought process behind it. That's why they don't take your account away because if you can't recreate what you did to get those profits, the odds of you blowing the account are very likely. So that's usually the case. If they deny you, they just let you keep trading it, and then if you just got lucky for that first payout, then although you're going to blow the account anyways, because that's usually what happens. Nice. So William over here said BB3 for a full 25 points. So William over here took this breakout B3 continuation. There was a buy signal and a green candle after it. So again, if you guys want to take this is like one of the breakouts as well. This is a breakout B3. The entry would have happened right here and it would have pushed up for 50 points. So if you guys remembered like back This was like, I think back in February. This is the breakout that we were using back then. The breakout V3. For this right here, the breakout V3, this pretty much, pretty much hit. This is one of the strategies that William's been using. He applies a breakout V3 like religiously. That's like one of his strategies that he mainly likes to apply. And you can see over here that it worked out perfect. So like I've said before, guys, there's a lot of different strategies that you can apply. Just find one that works for you and stick to it, right? Like Jamie likes to take liquidity. William over here likes to take breakout V3s. Those are like the two main strategies that they apply, and they do really well. So like Kip likes to do pivot scalps, right? There's a strategy for anybody. For me personally, what I've started to notice over the years is that breakouts have tended to be the most profitable, most consistent strategies for me long term. So I think my main thing for me moving forward is going to be focusing on these breakout type entries. So I'm basically going to just make adjustments to the current breakout that I'm doing because I think the current breakout that I'm using now is it's probably the most stable out of all of them. Because the thing with the breakout V3 is that it doesn't come up every day. But with the breakout that we're taking now, the breakout on open, that comes up every day. So I can pull actual data from that strategy to make it work. So I'm still pulling data from it. You know, we've been using it for a couple of weeks now, but I have 2 years of data prior. It's just missing a couple months each year. And I'll just keep adding data to the data sheet. So like the more data we have, the more that we can kind of make adjustments and adapt with the market. But I could see it working long term for sure. Yeah, no problem, Sam. Let me scroll down real quick. Nice. So Vimal said market flow V2 hit twice for 20 points. And he took it on the first touch. Nice work, Vimal. Yeah, usually the first touch is like the best one, Vimal. I know you kind of got into the chat yesterday when you were talking about it. Like you're trying to find you're trying to find one that hits, right? So the thing with that is I think the one that you'll find most likely to hit is going to be the first one. So right here, if you guys are looking for some market flow V2s, we don't really have a flow to the upside yet, but if you guys are looking to get into a trade here for market flow V2, the entry would happen right here on the 750 mark. So now that we've passed, we're about to be past 7 o'clock. Now I would only stick to the smaller moves, the 1030 moves, right? This one over here is pretty much done with. This is why I was saying the market flow V2s are a little bit of a toss-up sometimes because you can only trade between like 640 and 7. So for that bigger move, it's really tough to lock it in if it doesn't come up. So now that we're getting past 7 o'clock, you can still take market flow V2s, but what I would recommend is to take it with a smaller TP. So now that the pivot is below this point, your entry is not going to be below here, guys. It's going to be at the 740 mark. You want to get in at the whole number below the pivot. And again, right here, like I said, there's not really much of a flow, right? Price is just kind of going sideways. What you're looking for is you're looking for price to flow up, retrace, flow up further, retrace, flow up further from there. But we just don't have that. This whole week kind of it's been a sideways market this whole week. It's been pretty much ranging and consolidating, which is what we don't want. So I'm glad that we have the breakout here to kind of indicate that this week isn't really moving as smoothly as we typically see it move, especially for a fall season. Usually during the fall season, we have a smoother market, but right now we're just not having that smooth of a market. So we have the range down here. Price is now just at another range. So basically there's a new range up here. Nothing's really changed too much. Let's see. So it looks like the entry over here filled. It's about to hit, or if it didn't already hit already. So the market flow V2 right there kind of filled up. There's a sell signal there, so you probably want to close out for a small profit. If you want to hold on to it, feel free, but I would have closed out there for a small profit if you were taking it. This is another problem with the market flow V2 for a lot of people is that you have to really be focused and following it for when that sell signal comes up. Because once that sell signal comes up, direction starts to shift the other way. But Yeah. Yeah. So like I said before, there's two different strategies that you can really take during these live sessions. If you want to take the easier, less work type strategy, it would be the breakout, right? You just take the breakout in the morning, you set and forget it, let it be, and then let it run through. If you want to take something that's more where you have to be interactive and you have to be closing, entering, exiting, making changes, etc., it would be the market flow V2. Obviously, the market flow V2 will yield you more profits, but it'll also yield you more losses if you don't follow it properly. Because you can see over here, the sell signal closed. If you would have seen this right there right away, you would have closed right away. But if you would have waited, you probably would have had a bigger loss. Or this was actually in profit when it closed. But if you waited and you weren't paying attention, a lot can happen in 1 minute, right? This huge candle here came up in like 1 minute or like in a few seconds, actually. It went from moving small to a really big move right here at 40 points. So I'd only recommend you guys take market flow V2 if you guys are paying attention and if you guys understand, when you're supposed to exit and when you're supposed to enter. Because this can like really screw up your account if you're trading market flow V2s and you're not paying attention, plus the market's not going directional. If the market's moving directional, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make mistakes and then still hit your trade. But if it's not, like for example, today, this is not a directional market, right? I'm pretty sure everybody here can agree with me. This is not a directional market. It's pretty much just going sideways. So looking at this here, the news price from this morning actually lines up with opening price. It's on the same candle, which is kind of interesting. The news price right here was at 530 for CPI, and the opening price was exactly at that same exact price. And then going back over here to the clean chart, you can see there's no direction here. So this isn't a good market for market flow anyways to begin with. So looking at this here, market opened at this point, price came down, came back up, came back down, came back up. It's not really much here to work with. So let's go over here to our SR chart. So these are the zones from yesterday. Price actually respected the zones pretty well from yesterday. Draw some more zones right here. So this will come in handy now that price is kind of going sideways. We can actually use this to our advantage. If you want to trade within the range here, of course. All right. So here are the SR zones on the 10-minute time frame. Price is respecting the zones pretty decently, but you can see here it's pretty. So what it looks like here is that there's fake outs below this area and above this area. But it seems like the range is kind of trying to sit within this middle area right here. This is the actual range. So if you want to trade within the range, I mean, there's an area right here to trade within. You can just catch the fake outs. Basically, if price pulls out of this area, look for it to pull back in. And then ride it to the next zone. Same with the opposite direction. If price pushes away from it, ride it back into the range right here. Yeah, there's no directional market here, guys. So I don't think market flow V2s would be your best option, at least not during this type of market condition, because you need price to really be climbing up. Unless you get this type of move here, you shouldn't really be looking at market flow V2s. Same with this here. If you don't get this type of move, you shouldn't really be looking for sells there. What you could be looking for is you can be looking for some V1 variations. So for example, right here is like a V1 variation that came up right here. Could have taken that up for a buy. So we'll keep watching the market. We'll see if market starts to flow in a direction. This has kind of been the theme for this week. It's been in a sideways move. without very much direction. This usually happens after NFP. So if you guys have traded with me over the years, we've been trading for I think about 8 years now on these live sessions. If you guys have noticed, the week after NFPs, so if NFP is very directional, usually the week following it is going to be kind of choppy. And then, so the market usually moves in like in a couple of different phases every single month. Like every single month, this always happens. There's one directional month, one directional week. There's one choppy week. There's one slow week, and then there's one that's just like a smooth climb week. So looks like this week for October week 2, we have the choppy market. First week was super directional for NFP. This week is very choppy. Next week, we'll see what happens. Let me see what if there's any news for next week that we should be aware of. So for next week, we have New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, retail sales. I think next week's going to be a smoother week for us. Just from looking at the news calendar, because there's not really too much here that's causing a lot of manipulation. Got building permits. Okay. So I think next week will be a lot smoother than this week, of course. First week of the month is NFP. It's usually either really good or really bad. NFP for us was really good this month, so it usually balances out. You usually have a really good week, you have a choppy bad week, and then you have an okay week, and then usually a slow week to end the month. And that's usually it's just the pattern that we usually run through when we trade. If you guys want to document it, I would recommend taking notes. So if you want to take notes on this month for October, just put that it was NFP week. It was highly volatile and very directional. You can put for week 2, it was choppy. And then you'll see if you just document how each market moves every week, you'll start to understand it's like the same pattern every month, basically every month. And it just happens every month of the year. We trade every day. So if you guys have been trading with us, you guys have seen these patterns play out. It's not like something new. Sometimes the market will move crazy if there's something going on in the world. Like for example, COVID. When COVID happened, it was just directional every day. And then it also moves with the seasons too. Like summer is always going to be pretty slow all throughout the season. And then winter is usually going to be pretty volatile up until like the holidays. So it'll be volatile up until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, it'll be flat, and then it'll be volatile again, and it'll die out for Christmas and then for New Year's. So other than that, let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, so William said he's looking for BB3s on the 32nd. There's a couple other people who do that too. So like William's actually trading on the 32nd time frame. I mean, personally, I have never really looked at anything lower than the 1 minute, but I've seen other people in the group. So there's another guy here who trades on the 10-second. So William's been looking on the 32nd. Sam's also been taking the BB3s on the 32nd as well. So let's just take a look at the 32nd real quick. You got to keep in mind, this isn't for everybody, right? Like if it works for you, then apply it. But you don't want to. The thing with the BB3s is that you just have to find a good time frame, right? It's kind of like how it is with all the other strategies. Like for example, here, so the BB3s haven't really seen any entries here for the BB. Oh, there's one right here. So one right here that played through and it hit. This one right here played through and it hit. This one played through and it hit. This is at like 6. That was pre-market. So like if you really want to apply a strategy, like this is what I would recommend. Like for example, if you want to take pivot scalps, like the pivot scalps over here, if you had a buy signal, you're like, okay, this hits, obviously. And if it doesn't hit, you just go to a different time frame. You can go to the 3 minute. If it's not working there, you can go on the 5 minute. It's not working there, you can go on the 10 minute. There's always gonna be a time frame where it's working, like it's working perfectly. Obviously, you wouldn't go that high, but that's something that you can play with. I personally don't look anywhere past that. I just look to apply different strategies because it's you wouldn't be able to follow it on the live session. If I was to trade on the 30 second here on the live session, you guys just wouldn't be able to follow along. It's too fast. Um, but like I said earlier, like there's another guy here who trades on the 10 second too. I'm not going to put his name out there because I don't want you guys to bug him. That's usually what happens with a lot of people in the group. Sometimes there's people who are like very active or who were very active at some point, and they're just not active anymore because they just get bothered too much. I know, like obviously you guys would want them to help you, but there's some people who just don't want to help. So that's why I'm here. So if you guys need help, just ask me questions. But there's a lot of people out there who just want to be left alone and they just want to trade. So I'm not gonna put their names out there, unfortunately. I know you guys probably want to ask them what they do or what they're looking for, but not everybody's here to, not everybody wants to get their DMs blown up. Yeah, Sam said check out Tuesday, Sean. It was good day for BB3 third on the 32nd. All right, there's no entries here right now, guys, so I'll just check real quick here. I don't know if we go that far, we could. Just takes a while to pull back to that area. Delete this. Still got liquidity marked up from like, actually, no, that's from today. Yeah, so if you guys were taking the BB3s on the 32nd on Tuesday, yeah, it looks like they hit a lot right here. So this one over here hit over this one here too. This one hit for full TP for a sell. This one here for a buy. This for a sell, pretty good. This for a buy. This for a buy. This for a sell. Yeah, a lot of them came up over here on Tuesday. So if you guys have a strategy that you like to apply, you can always play around with the different time frames. You'll usually find one that's hitting. And if it's hitting, then you just stick to that time frame for the day. That one right there hit as well. That one as well. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. It looks like over here on Tuesday, the 32nd was pretty much, yeah, it came up pretty smooth. This one right here as well. And then obviously we got later into the session over here, volatility died down. Another one right here at 10. So I think I spotted almost like 10 entries right there. Another one right there. Yeah, that was good. Pretty solid. All right, back to our normal market over here. There's just nothing going on again, guys. Let's go back to our clean chart. So here's our clean chart here with no markups. I just have some levels marked up. There's not really much direction here, guys. So unfortunately, it's not looking like there's going to be too many opportunities for market flow V2s. Price is really just going back and forth between this area. It's not really too much to work with. CJ said Hurricane Milton came and messed up the flow because market flow V2 was hitting like crazy yesterday. Yeah, I know. Well, yesterday, like we had a bigger range. Well, we had a range, but it was like moving directional for like a good amount of time, right? I think for this right here, so with yesterday, we had where price would kind of push away and then it would sit down here for a while and keep hitting, right? And then it would push up and then keep hitting. And then it'll push back down and it would keep hitting. So the market flow V2 is moving a lot better yesterday because we had that type of movement. For today, it's more of a wide range. So just going back and forth, etc. So yeah, this today's market is not as good as yesterday wasn't good either, but today's it's a lot more of a wider range versus the choppiness. Market flow V2s can work well in a choppy market, but not necessarily in a big range like this. Because like you can see here that there's not even any direction that you guys can trade in. Like if you guys look, it's tough to really catch any entries. There was some market flow V2s that came up over here when this buy signal came up, but only a couple. There's like one, two, and then price came back down. And then now that we have a sell signal, um, you're either going to look for the price to come down and smoothly come lower, or you're going to look for the opposite, for price to climb up and smoothly come up higher. Marcy said, I haven't been able to keep up with all the changes. Sean, what platform are you guys trading on? So we trade, some people trade directly on TradingView. I trade on NinjaTrader because that's where my copier works. Marcy's talking about Trade Locker. So I don't really have any opinion on Trade Locker. I mean, personally, I wouldn't recommend using Trade Locker, but I don't have an opinion on them because I've never used them before. What I've heard about Trade Locker is that like I don't know. It's like it's basically an unregulated broker. That's what it is. So the thing with Trade Locker is that it's not really. I don't think it'd be reliable compared to like trading on futures. Because when you trade with futures, you're using like the centralized data, like this data over here for YM. This is all on a centralized market, so everybody's price is going to be the same. When you trade on Trade Locker, I'm not sure if it's like a broker that's Trade Locker that you attach to Trade Locker, or if it's like its own broker. I've never used them before, and I don't plan on using them ever. But yeah, from what I've heard with them, it's basically like trading on MC4, which everyone had their issues with MC4. So it's kind of like you're kind of going backwards if you're trading with Trade Locker versus an actual futures broker. Because we just like some people can just trade directly on TradingView. I have my account linked to here, so whenever I take my trades on NinjaTrader, it shows up here on TradingView. But some people just trade directly on here, which is fine too. So yeah, I don't have anything to say about Trade Locker specifically, but for me, I'm not going to recommend anything that I don't use. So I don't use Trade Locker, and I don't ever plan on using them. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Trade Locker. I would recommend just using some sort of futures broker because eventually those brokers are going to get knocked off again. The US is cracking down on a lot of those unregulated brokers that still use MC4 or like something similar to MC4. So there's going to be a crackdown on it eventually. You just want to stick to what's legit. What's legit is futures. If you want to trade YM in the US. If you're in Europe, then it's a different story. You guys have a lot of different brokers to use out there. Or if you guys are in Australia, you guys have a lot of different options. But if you're in the US, you kind of got to stick to futures, or you got to stick to a regulated forex broker. So yeah, I know it sucks. It sucks in the US. It's a lot more strict here. Let's see. Brock said, I know breakout analysis was a buy. Note that if we had taken a sell, it would have been an exact replica of yesterday on that in this case. Yeah, that it has returned to open and continued selling. So I don't know if I would consider this continued selling for because it's like right at the opening price. Like continued selling, in my opinion, would be something like, if price came down and then it continued selling, like you said. But I don't think this is continued selling. I think this is just a big range. Price is it's pretty much doing what it did yesterday. It's sitting in the range at opening price. Because this is pretty much where it was yesterday too. It was just sitting at the range at opening price. So like yesterday. And this just shows that like there's no need to take any trades right now. So for example, this is from yesterday. Yesterday was it actually so yesterday opening price was like right here and it just kept climbing. So this is different from today. This is like a lot different from today. Because this over here, price came down and then it reversed and then it kept going up higher, right? So market opened right here at 630. Price came down initially, it reversed, and then it kept going higher, right? So this analysis was right. If you're talking about where price broke above and then it kept climbing up higher, I agree with that. But for today, that's not what happened here, because in order for that to happen, price would have to go in the opposite direction right here, up first, right? And then come down and then continue climbing down from here. But that's not really what's happening here. This is really just ranging. So what happened here is price opened, it immediately went down. It came up, came down, and then it's back up again. So the pattern here is like completely different. And that's just from my perspective. I mean, maybe you see things differently, but for me, this is kind of where I'm seeing it. Like in order for it to move like yesterday, it would have to come up first, come down, and then keep dropping from there. Yeah, Brock said agreed, Sean. I'm stuck in a trade. Maybe my psychology is also stuck at open. Yeah, I think you're seeing things the way that you want it to happen, but that's just not like how it is right now. And that's normal, right? If you're in a position, of course, you're gonna want price to go in the direction of your trade. First, so like you want it to come down, of course, right? Because that's gonna be in your favor. But if you look at it just from what's actually on the screen, it's really just ranging right here. It's really just going back and forth. And you can't even see that much here because there's so much on the chart. If you look over here on the clean chart, you can see that there's really no direction, right? Price is just going back and forth between this area right here down the middle. Opening prices up here. So it's not really that far from it. It's like 60 points. Yeah, hopefully the trade goes in your direction, Brock. I just don't see much direction here. CJ said, you see that M? That's forming, that's Milton letting his presence be known. Good one, CJ. Yeah, no, exactly. There's the M pattern right there. It's Hurricane Milton right there. It's telling you to get ready, Brock. This thing's about to go all over the place. But yeah, there's not really too much today, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's just not really much here to work with. I would look at some market flow V2s, but there's just no direction here. We would need some sort of direction here, like something like this to come down, but we just don't have that yet. So price is starting to come down a little bit. We have a sell signal right here. What I'd be looking for is for price to come down a little further, retrace, come down further, retrace, etc. If you guys are just joining, or if you guys weren't here for the breakout, just a reminder, I'm not taking any more breakouts for this week. I'll be following them and I'll be marking them up. So I'll mark up tomorrow's breakout, but I'm not going to be taking it. Reason for that is because it doesn't fit within my risk plan. My risk plan is if I have two back-to-back losses, then I can't take a trade until we have a winning trade. So today didn't win, unfortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately. It was unfortunate that today's trade didn't win, but it was fortunate because now I understand that the market's not moving how I need it to move for the breakout. So now I'm just going to skip tomorrow and I'm not going to eat any more losses. For this week, I only have one loss, so it's not a big deal. We had a win on Monday. We had a loss on Tuesday, so that's break even. And then we had one more loss on Wednesday. So we're at one loss for this week. We're at 4 wins from last week. We're net wins, 3 positive net wins for this month so far. So I'm still happy with my profit so far. Here, I'll just do the math real quick. So basically, we have +4 from last week, right? And we have -1 from this week. So we're net 3 wins times 100. So we're 300 points in profit for the month so far. I'm taking 3 contracts times 5, and then we multiply that by 300 points. So I have about 4,500 profit across each account right now. That's how much profit I'm up for this month so far. I have 26 accounts, so times 26. This is my current profit so far. So I'm still happy with the month so far. I just took 1 loss, and then thanks to my risk plan, I'm not taking any more dumb trades, right? I'm not taking any trades that I don't need to. So if you guys follow the profits from last week, So the profits from last week are right here, right? I was up about like maybe about 5,000 per account. So I just have one loss for this week. So I was up about 5,000 last week, and then we had one net loss for this week. So I lost 1,600. So like I said, you do the math there. I'm still in profit 4,500 for per account. So I'm okay with just sitting out. I feel like that's the biggest problem with a lot of people is that they can't sit out of a trade, right? I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't know how to not trade. What happens with a lot of people is like, for example, so we lost on Tuesday and then we lost on Wednesday. What happens is when you have a loss like that, people want a revenge trade. They want to come back right away and just make that money back. For me, I'm sitting more conservatively. So instead of trying to get back that profit that I lost, I'm just sitting out the market and I'm just sitting on the sideline trying. I'm just watching what's happening here. And I'm understanding that this is not a good time to trade because there's no direction. Price just goes back and forth, back and forth. So instead of me taking trades and then losing more profit, I'm just sitting out. I'm just waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. So I'm waiting for the market to move the way I need it to. And then once it does, I can start taking more trades. So just a recap on what I'm doing for this week. We had a win on Monday. We had a loss on Tuesday, a loss on Wednesday. So starting Wednesday, I stopped taking trades. Today, I followed the trade. The trade didn't win. In order for me to take another trade, I have to have one win. So I didn't take a trade today. I'm not trading tomorrow for the breakout. And then I'm gonna start fresh on Monday next week. What I've done with my data is that I've segregated it by week because, not every week's gonna be the same, but the week usually follows through until the end of the week. So if the market's been kind of choppy this week, it's probably gonna keep being choppy tomorrow. So you just got to be smart about the trade that you guys take. You guys have to understand your risk. When people talk about risk management, it's not just TP stop loss. It's understanding when to trade and when not to trade. And a lot of people they just can't get that in their head. They feel like they need to trade every single day, trade every single entry that comes up. And that's not really the case. The case is really understanding when not to trade because I'm still sitting in profit. So I feel good. Even though I took two losses this week and one net loss overall, I'm still feeling good about the month because I was able to prevent another loss today. So yeah, we'll keep looking for entries here and we'll do the same analysis tomorrow. But for myself, my accounts are pretty much closed for the rest of the week. And that's just me being smart about my entries here. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll see if some market flow starts to come up here. So we got a sell signal right here. Possible market flow in this direction if it ends up flowing. So if you guys are looking to take an entry here, I think we need price to come down a little bit further. But if you do want to take an entry here, entry will probably happen around the 720 right there. We do need some direction though. Here's the clean chart again. Not really much else going on here. This is the clean chart and price is just going sideways here. Here is our markup with the zone. So like I mentioned earlier, guys, you guys can trade within the zone right here. This zone right here down the middle is usually where price pulls back to. If price continues to consolidate, you can look for the fake out like it happened up here. You can look for the fake out when it pulls back into the range. You can write it back into the range, basically. There hasn't really been very many B1 variation patterns though, so you're not really able to catch those reversals unless you're looking at something else like a B2 or a B3. All right. So if you guys are looking for some market flow B2s, there's no opportunities here just yet, but if you're looking to take one, it's going to be right here at the 710 mark. I would consider this risky, so if you guys want to take it, just get in and out very quickly. And then there's news that's in about a minute. Thanks, Nikki. So we got gas stock change. It's nothing big. Low impact gas stock change at 7:30. All right. So the entry is still going to be right there at the 710 mark if you guys are looking to take it. Again, like I said, there's no market flow here, so it's kind of tricky to take the entries. If you want to take it, feel free to take it, but um, I would say take it very cautiously. If you're going to take it, make sure you get out very quickly. You don't want to get caught. If you want to just take the first touch, like we talked about with the mall, that'd be the first touch. The thing that you want to be careful for is the buy signal. So if a buy signal comes up, that's where you have to start to make a decision where you want to pull out of it or not. So there goes market flow right there, currently running in profit around break even or entry point. This is also the news candle right here at 7:30. So that's where it becomes tricky. You guys can see there's a pending buy signal there. This is probably gonna hit TP. There you go, full TP right there. So if you took the market flow, like I said, the first market flow is usually gonna hit. There goes the first one right there, full TP. It's all done with that. And if you want to just take one market flow, like per momentum, you can do that, right? So market flow right there, that hit, it's all done with, full TP. And yeah, if you just want to take one per, because if you do that, like if you just like instead of double dipping, you just wait for one entry per momentum, your win rate's gonna go up super high. So ideally, that's probably what you'd want to do. I'm gonna update the spreadsheet probably later today. I think what I'll do here is I'll add the trade but I'm not gonna fill it in. So like for example, on Monday it was like 10, 7, 24, 6:30. I don't remember what trade we had. It was a sell. So I think what I'll do here is I'll add the trades, but I'm not going to I'm not gonna fill in the one like from today because we didn't take the trade, of course. This trade on the 8th was a buy. The trade from yesterday was a sell. So it doesn't look like there's really a pattern here with regard to the direction of price. So I think what I'm going to do here, if you guys want to follow it, because I'll put all the data here. This is how we're going to know exactly what to follow when it comes time for today was I'm just going to grade out because it wasn't a trade that we took. Risk. Um, All right, so I'll just color this like light gray or something like that. Yeah. So here are the stats from the official trades, basically from October 1st until October 7th, back-to-back wins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back-to-back wins. Um, and then 2 losses right here. And then we didn't take the trade on today, of course. I'm gonna color it a different color so it's easier to okay. So we have an idea. It's just a neutral color, basically. All right, so other than that, guys, there's not really much else going on here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to chime into the chat. You can see over here we have a buy signal, so there's still no clear market flow. Um, if you want to take another market flow entry, you want to look for price to push above and then climb up from here. But this is back to what I was saying earlier with you, Brock. It's just in a big range. There's just no direction here. So market open right here, and it's really just been going back and forth. The range is getting tighter, but it's really just going back and forth between this middle area. So if you guys remember the zones over here, I mentioned, look for that fake out and then write it right back into the zone. This is a real area here where price is sitting. It's just sitting down in this middle area right here. Everything else is a fake out. Price pushes outside of it, fakes out back into the range. Yeah, exactly. Brock's, it's super rangy. Do you see what I'm talking about now, right, Brock? It's not like how it was yesterday. It's really just in a range. Yesterday price was actually moving directional, but today well, it was more directional than today. It was like ranging for the first 30 minutes or first hour, and then it started moving direction. But for today, it's really just sitting right down the middle the whole time. So yeah, I know it's kind of annoying, but unfortunately, that's just the market that we're currently in right now. So I don't really recommend taking any entries here. Obviously, you can see if you're going to take some buys here, you might get caught in the fake out because price is probably going to fake out back into the range. Um, the only way I would trade this is if you see some reversal pattern. So like if price pushes below here. So the reversal pattern was actually right here. If you guys can see, it was a V1 variation pattern. So there's a double body rejection right here. Entry would have happened on the close of the candle right there. And I rode this back into the range. Yeah, Brock said it has not done much. I also think my entry was somewhat late. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't really matter if it was late or early because you'd still be stuck in the range. I don't know how big is your TP, but yeah, unless your TP is like pretty small, like 50 or even 25 points, then maybe it would have been okay. But if your TP stop loss is wider, like 100, thing is price hasn't really pushed that far out. So if your TP stop loss is 100, there's a lot of space here. Like price hasn't really moved very much since. Gosh, yeah. So I figured here, yeah, Brock said his TP was 100. That makes sense because it hasn't really moved 100 points since open. Just on this initial candle here, the initial candle had a big spike, but then after that, everything's been kind of flat for the most part. Yeah, Brock said he was trying to hold on to his TP stop loss without interrupting. Yeah, I mean, eventually it might come down, Brock, but I don't know exactly when because it's kind of just sitting right here down the middle right now. But yeah, here are the stats so far for the breakout, guys. So we had 5 back-to-back wins for October so far, and then 2 losses. The 10 on the 10th over here today, I didn't take the trade. So tomorrow's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be a no trade for me. So you guys can see here how I'm able to basically minimize the losses. So like I have all these wins right here, and then I'm able to minimize the loss right here with these 2 losses. So far, we're currently at 5 wins, 2 losses. So net win of about 3. So we're currently at a 71% win rate right now, which is about where it should be, right? We did the data, and the data show that we should be at around like a 63 to like 73 win rate. So we're right down the middle where it should be. And this is only the first 2 weeks of October. So we got some time. Looks like majority of the trades for this week or for this month so far were sells. And it played out nice. All right, guys, if there's any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. There's not really much here to work with. Price is just going back and forth, and there's no need to force any trades here. Yeah, it's just this week isn't a really great week. And then looking at the stats over here, you guys can see it's pretty obvious. So like Monday up until Thursday, it's not a great week. It's a toss-up week. Last week was great though. Last week was good. We had four back-to-back wins leading up until the win on Monday, and then it kind of just flattened out. So this week right here looks like it's going to be kind of like the bad week for us. And then next week we'll start off fresh again. So I'll start taking a breakout again on Monday. And then we'll pretty much take it from there. But all right, guys, I think this is going to be it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. It is 7:41 right now. We have about 19 minutes till 8. There's just not much going on here, so I don't really recommend you guys force any trades at this point. Price is really just going sideways. The range is getting tighter. It's just everything points towards not trading, right? We have a big range right here, and then the range is now just getting tighter and tighter. The thing you want to be careful when this happens and when price starts to squeeze is that it's going to break out eventually. So right now it's currently squeezing. And when it's done squeezing, it's going to break out, right? It's either going to break out to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. So, whether you're lucky or unlucky, price is likely to break out in like one of those directions. So there's just no need to force anything here, guys. I would just sit tight, wait, come back tomorrow fresh. I'll look at the breakout again tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. If it doesn't play out tomorrow, that's fine. I'm not going to be taking it. But if it does play out, then, better case scenario there. We'll be bouncing back from these this current losing streak that is running right now for the breakout. So we'll minimize your losses and we'll come back tomorrow fresh. I'm not taking the trade tomorrow, so I'll be taking it back on Monday. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I will see you guys.